Hi guys, Mike back again with another board game unboxing. Quick look at Eldritch Horror Under the Pyramids expansion has just been released, certainly in the UK anyway, and I thought I'd take a look with you guys. Shrink is still on, so I want to see what's inside this. I'm a big fan of the Cthulhu mythos. I'm a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft, and a big fan of the lore with these sorts of games. Those of you that are kind of uninitiated, I suppose, it's the kind of Cthulhu, like I say, Cthulhu mythos. So kind of the Arkham Horror is the board game that everyone will know, I suppose. It's got multiple expansions. I think it had about 5 big box expansions and 4 small box expansions. And I did have that. I used to have it, but I've sold it all because it was just too, I don't know, it's too big. And I wanted to kind of thin my collection down a little bit. Eldritch Horror, on the other hand, has been described as Arkham Horror Light. It's a little bit easier to get to grips with. It's still got the kind of feel of Cthulhu and Lovecraft, etc. But yeah, a little bit more user friendly, I suppose. Before we crack open this one, I just wanted to show you what we've already got with regards to Eldritch Horror. This is the main game. This is the core set that you would pick up if you wanted to start playing it. And I've started to kind of create a storage solution for it so far. So at the moment we've got Eldritch Horror, the rulebook, and with it's from Fantasy Flight, and with a lot of the Fantasy Flight games you get a reference guide these days. So you get the main rules, which tell you how to play, and then you get a reference guide which tell you all the little kind of idiosyncrasies, and it's your kind of go-to guide when you're playing the game. So you get that for Eldritch Horror. Then we had the Forsaken Lore expansion, which is unavailable at the moment, I believe, but I'm sure it'll be back, where it gives you more old ancient ones. The ancient one is your kind of old god, I suppose, who is coming back to try and take over the world, and they've got followers and things, and you have to defeat the followers and save the day, as it were. So we've got Forsaken Lore. Then we had the first big box expansion, which was Mountains of Madness, which took you into Antarctica. It gave you an extra board, which I'll show you in a sec, and again more cards, etc. And then another small box expansion, Stranger Remnants, and again it's a few more rules and stuff, but you just get a little, kind of 4-page guide, so it's not too all-consuming. So that's our rules so far. So how I'm storing Eldritch Horror at the moment, I've got a leather bag which I use as a monster cup. I'll show you in a second, but you have to draw monsters. You have to draw monsters at random, and you draw them out of an opaque container, so you can't see what you're drawing. So I use this old leather bag to draw my monsters out of. We've got lots and lots of old ones, and these are all from H.P. Lovecraft. So Yig and Cthulhu and Zizji and Hithaqua, Shub-Niggurath, Yog-Sothoth, Azahoth, and Elder Things. So they're our enemies that we fight, and they've all got specific rules that you can play. And then we've got all of our investigators. You choose an investigator to be. So these are all, the standard investigators. So those of you familiar with Arkham Horror, etc., will be familiar with lots of these investigators. So we get these. So that's that. And then we've got a couple of boxes, basically, just to store all our tokens and things. So we've got skill increase tokens and insanity tokens, health tokens, clues and focus tokens. So just in a little tub there. And then in this other box we've got our investigator chits and our like tougher monsters. There are kind of run-of-the-mill monsters, if you like. These are kind of boss monsters. And we've got some gates. The gate opens and you have to close the gates to stop the monsters coming out and stuff. Yeah, so all the tokens in there. So there we go. And then, so that's our expansion board. This is the main board for the main game, which I won't open out, but basically it's a map of the world. And you travel around the world trying to defeat whatever old one you're battling against. So there's that, and then you've got the the expansion board from Mountains of Madness. So that's Antarctica broken down a little bit, so you can visit the individual locations. So that's that. So that's how I'm storing it at the moment, and it works quite well. So that's that and that. So that all goes in there. I mean, virtually impossible. I mean, as these expansions start to come thick and fast, as the expansions increase, it's impossible to store everything in one core box. So there we go. We just spin to that one, and this is the Mountains of Madness expansion box. And in this box, we've got all the cards, basically. Those of you that have watched my previous videos will know that I like making my own dividers that I've kind of, you know, with a typeface that suits the theme of the game. So this is like a typewriter type, you know, because this is based in like the 30s, 1930s. So yeah, we use that. So we make all of our cards. So we've got kind of reference cards and adventure cards, encounter cards for different locations on the planet, and encounter cards for the other world. So they're all our encounter cards. So that's nicely kind of filed. And then over here we've got our encounter cards for our Great Old Ones, and our Mythos cards as well. And then our small cards here, we've got a range of spells and artifacts and assets that you can acquire during the run of the game, and some condition cards there which give you generally bad conditions, like you know, some sort of insanity, or a broken leg, or frostbite, or something like that, hypothermia. So there's those. And then in this box, this is where we keep all our monster tokens. So, oops, just dropped a load there. So these are our monster chits, again with the rules for the monsters on the back. And these are the ones that go in the leather bag, basically, so you can draw them out randomly. So there's those. And then I've just got a little tray down here of stands that you put your investigator tokens on, and just some custom dice. You get regular dice with the core game, and I switched them out for these dice with an elder sign for the 5 and the 6. So yeah, so that's cool. So that's how I'm storing it at the moment. We're going to crack open the expansion and see what we get. So I'll catch you in a second. Alright guys, we're back, and we are going to just open up Under the Pyramids expansion and see what you get. I know you get another board, so similarly to the Mountains of Madness, you get another sideboard to play on. So I think it's going to be like that, like the Mountains of Madness expansion, but set in Egypt, I'd imagine, rather than Antarctica. So, as with all Fantasy Flight games, quality is always really, really good. So again, little instruction book. So there we go. So we do get an Egyptian board. We get 8 more investigators and tokens, stands, 2 ancient ones, more mythos cards, more adventure cards and prelude cards. Yeah, it's just more of the same, really. Oh, look, we get impairment tokens now, whereas I showed you before where you can improve your skills. Looks like you can get impaired now, so that's quite interesting. More artifacts, assets, spells, conditions, and loads more encounter cards, which is always good. So not much really to get your head round. Some more FAQs there, and that's it. So that's pretty cool. So we'll check out the board. Again, this game gets massive once you start playing it. There's so much to kind of get on the table if you wanted to put everything on there. So yeah, there we go. So this is going to be Egypt. So that's really cool. I like that. Excellent, excellent. There we go. Just one sheet of tokens. So there we've got our more health and sanity, more clues, investigators, gate tokens, some more monsters, and sort of boss monsters. And there are impairment tokens there for our different skills. Double-sided, of course. And we get the stands, boatload of cards, So more mystery cards, or sorry, encounter cards. So we get a load of encounter cards, little bag of spells and artifacts. There are small cards. And just have a quick look at this. So our two ancient ones now. We've got Abhoth and Nephren Ka, the Dark Pharaoh. So that's cool. And we get Hank Sampson, Harvey Walters, Joe Diamond, Mandy Thompson, Minty Fan, Monterey Jack, Rex Murphy and Sister Mary. So yeah, the thing is going to be pretty cool actually. This is going to be a good little expansion. So what I'm going to do now is make dividers for all of these cards. So we're going to make dividers, put it all, store it all in the main box as we've been doing. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So I'll be back with you shortly. Okay guys, and this is it. This is the finished layout, I suppose, of the box with my kind of storage system. And it still works, so I don't need to amend it yet. I mean, I suppose as these games get bigger and bigger, you might have to amend the way you store your games. But I mean, there's not too many cards, I suppose, to fit in this big box, because I've got lots of space down here that I'm sort of taking up. Not very economically, I suppose. But yeah, so we only had two more great old ones. So we've got mystery cards and research cards and sort of special encounter cards for each one of those. So they don't take up very much space. So that's the kind of stack for one great old one. And we've got some new locations. We've got Africa and Egypt back here. And then we've just added the cards into the decks for America and Europe and Asia and Australia and general encounters and other world encounters. And we've got new mythos cards as well at the back. So I've moved them from this side to this side just to kind of, so I can still fit my little tub in there for my dice and stands. But yeah, so it all fits nicely. And basically I just have this box on the side of the table basically, and so I don't need to get all the cards out, and I can just pull cards, you know, from where, you know, the section they're coming from. So it's not too bad playing it that way. So yep, that's it. So that's Eldritch Horror Under the Pyramids integrated into the core game and the other 3 expansions. Any questions, queries, comments, let me know, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers guys.